Welcome into Don Riddler Fieldhouse for game number 23 of the Lawrence Tech women's basketball season. Your Blue Devils are set to take on the visiting Wolverines of Michigan Dearborn right here on the LTU Sports Network tonight. I'm Jason Ross Jr., preparing you for what should be a fun one tonight, as the LTU women are in search of what would be a season-long 6-game win streak under head coach Kylene Spiegel if they can take the win tonight over Jordan Sweeney's Wolverines. LTU has won the past 9 games versus Michigan Dearborn dating back to the 2013-14 season, hoping to make that 10 in a row tonight as they continue their push to the top of the WAC conference, and we'll have it right here on the LTU Sports Network.
Good evening. Welcome to the Technical Bye in tonight's conference matchup between the Wolverines of the University of Michigan Dearborn and your Lawrence Tech Blue Devils. LTU alongside the WAC through the NAR's Champion Character Initiative, figuring crime, conduct of all student athletes, spectators, coaches, and officials. We encourage you during your game. During today's contest, there was a spirit of sportsmanship kept in mind. Please rise and remain standing for the pledge of the national anthem. The Wolverines of Dearborn, located in Dearborn, Michigan, come to today's game with a record of 6 wins, 17 losses, and a 1-13 in the conference. Here are the starters. 5'7" senior guard to go by number 5, Meredith Williams. 5'11" freshman forward for Michigan, number 14, Taylor Knight. 5'10" sophomore forward from Detroit, Michigan, number 21, Taylor Jones. 5'9" junior guard from Malone, Michigan, 23, Natalie Spalla. Other starters for the 5'10" sophomore guard from Sterling, Michigan, number 32, C. Lawrence. The head coach of the Wolverines in the second season is Jordan Sweeney. His assistants are Brooke Bowers and Rod Wells. The Blue Devils come to back to the February 18th in the latest 25 with the basketball coaching program. They will learn to be ready for a 6'1" sophomore forward from Spring, Florida, Ohio, number 44, Rachel Ross. 5'10" small forward, number 54, Cole Levine. Sophomore forward, 5'11" from East Lansing, Michigan, number 22, Lydia Wilson. 5'9" junior point guard from Oxford, Michigan, number 15, Sheridan.
Welcoming you back into the LTU Sports Network for a tip-off. Your starters on the LTU side: Price, Buckingham, Walkowski, Rooster, and Banis. And for the Wolverines on the floor starting out: Jones, Spalla, Lemons, Williams, and Knight. Wolverines take the tip, and they'll get things underway. Spala able to keep her balance on the near sideline there. Gets it over to Georgia Jones. She kicks over to Knight. Knight, one of those younger players in this Wolverines team with a lot of potential, gets back over to Knight. And a nice turnover there forced by the LTU. Back the other way, Buckingham. Hit a three as time expired to give LTU their last win over Rochester. That was in thrilling fashion. Ball goes back out to Price, and unable to hit her first jumper of the night, but a foul down low following there. And that'll give possession back to Lawrence Tech. Inbounding, it'll be Cheryl Bannis, better known as CJ, inbounding with Spala on the defense, gets it out to Buckingham. Back in low, Price working against the body of Georgia Jones, spins and puts it up and in for the Blue Devils. First bucket of the night, it's Price. Williams set things up here, over to Spala, defended by Walkowski. In low, Jones working, spinning, and able to put it up and in off the glass. Georgia Jones, a sophomore, 5'10" for the Wolverines. We see a turnover there, each team with one now. Here comes Meredith Williams back the other way. Kicks over to Sade Lemons. She'll drive against the body of Bannis. No good, and Bannis pulls down the board. Nice job by Bannis to stay with it there. Now advances the ball up ahead. Little 15-footer, no good, but able to get her own rebound was Danielle Hansen. Now back over to Buckingham. She couldn't quite hit it. Another offensive rebound there, and LTU hitting the glass early on. Something they did quite well in their last win at home against Northwestern Ohio. Really hit the glass early on. Trying to feed it down low there to Hansen, and a turnover. We'll have to avoid those. That was something that we saw over and over again the first time these two teams played, and it was a sloppy game in the first half. Neither team really got off to a good offensive start, shooting 24% were the LTU Blue Devils, and Wolverines also shot 24% in the first half of that first matchup. LTU ended up winning it, but the first half was not one to remember. Driving there into the lane and called for steps. That was Natalie Spala giving the Blue Devils the ball back here. Bannis will look to reset. 2 points on both sides, just about 2.5 minutes in here. Buckingham tries from deep and hits from deep. Was it a three? Yes, it was. Nicole Buckingham picking up right where she left off in that game against Rochester. It's a 5-2 LTU lead now. Lemons, that might have gone off her foot. No, it'll stay in possession of the Wolverines as we see Kendall Rose get set to check in here. Kaylin Knight to the bench. Rose, the junior, 5'9", out of Canton, Michigan, Plymouth High School. She'll inbound it here. Finds Williams on the baseline, no good, but right there for the board, Georgia Jones was fouled as she went up. Jones, an 85% free throw shooter. Definitely an advantage for the Wolverines to have your players who are in the paint most of the time able to knock down those free throws. For LTU today, one of the goals at the top of the list will be to stop Georgia Jones. She provides the offense for this Wolverine team, off on the second free throw there, and it's still a 2-point LTU lead as Bannis comes back out the other way. Finds Walkowski, who scored her 1,000th point the last time the LTU Blue Devils played on this floor. Her family was in attendance, and it was certainly a spectacular moment. Got a couple of big hugs from her teammates and coaches as she went to the bench. She's had a spectacular season as the ball goes back out to Bannis with 8 on the shot clock. Finds Price. Back to Bannis. She'll have to hoist up a shot. Well, long, couldn't hit any rim there. And the ball will stay, though, in LTU possession. That will not make Jordan Sweeney happy. No, they'll give it to the Wolverines here. Unclear, they'll call it shot clock violation.
For LTU, number 3, Taryn Klein.
So they'll say she did not get that off in time. And Taryn Klein checks in for the Blue Devils. The sharpshooter off the bench. Bannis able to come away with the steal there and fouled. Klein checks in, the freshman, 5'8". For the Wolverines, now we see a substitution. Megan Swick, certainly a threat from three-point range. There's Klein over to Buckingham. Now Klein driving down the right side of the lane. Couldn't quite finish, too strong. Here comes Lemons galloping back out the other way. Right at Buckingham, veering across the lane. And a nice defensive stance there from Nicole Buckingham. Able to use her height at 5'10". In for the Wolverines. That'll be Heinrich. As we see Jones go to the bench after a good stint there through the first 4 minutes of this first quarter. Play 4 quarters in the women's game, unlike the men's game where we have 2 halves. Here's Williams. She's an excellent ball handler, plenty of dexterity. Ball gets in low for Rose, back to Williams. Errant pass intercepted, and here come the Blue Devils. Crossing half court, Walkowski over to Buckingham. Stop and start, and she's fouled.
Foul by the Wolverines, number 15, Emily Heinrich, her first, team's third.
Bannis inbounds here to Klein, looks down low. Nothing there, so she'll pop it back out to Walkowski to slow it down. On across for Buckingham. They slip it to a cutting Buckingham, a bit too strong, but pulled down her own rebound. A tie-up, though, in possession to LTU.
Jump ball, LTU basketball.
Nice effort there from Buckingham, but tough miss at the rim, but they'll regain possession. Inbounds play, gets an open 3 for Buckingham. She hits an open 3. She doesn't need very much room, and we see it there. Buckingham with her first points of the game comes by way of a 3-pointer. She's 1 for 3 so far. Averaging 16 points on the year. Pass in low, almost threw it away to the Wolverines. Now it goes back out Kendall Rose. 6 on the shot clock here. Meredith Williams, Heinrich, and she hits it off the glass. Not sure if she called bank, but it went in. And now just a 2-point game. These two teams played a close first half in that first meeting, as we mentioned earlier, and that's how it's been thus far. You're still early on in the first quarter, about 6 minutes in. Klein works off that screen to take possession. Walkowski tries, and she hits. Walkowski, first bucket of the game. As mentioned earlier, that Buckingham had 3 points, rather she has 6. And we'll get a push off here, offensive foul. Gives possession right back to LTU. These Wolverines really struggle with turnovers as we see a couple of substitutions here. Kayla Knight returns to the game for the Wolverines, and Danielle Hansen gets back on the floor for the Blue Devils. Ball over to Klein. Walkowski cut through the lane. Didn't get it though, but it did go to Buckingham. She waltzes her way down the lane and finishes with the right hand. That'll extend the lead to 7 with 3:48 to play here in the first quarter. Here's Knight, top of the circle for the Wolverines. Over to Williams. Working on Buckingham, plays it in down low. Here's a drive down the lane, sloppy pass, had to save it. 10 on the shot clock. Wolverines struggling to get going offensively here. Meredith Williams, not really a shooter, had to dish it off to Heinrich, who was blocked by Buckingham. And that'll run the clock out, and the LTU defense comes up big once more, and the Wolverines find themselves stymied early on here. Wolverine offense averaging just 55 points per game. They really hurt themselves with turnovers, and that's been the storyline thus far early on. Fouled in down low. Danielle Hansen, and she'll go to the line.
Foul by the Wolverines, number 5, Meredith Williams. Her second, team's fifth.
Foul was charged to Meredith Williams.
32, Danielle Hansen.
Her second, and she'll have a chat with the ref. First free throw rolls in for Hansen. 16% free throw shooter. We see Williams go to the bench for the Wolverines. Checking in is Chloe Godbold. Second free throw rolls out. Buckingham was there, couldn't quite get a hold of it. And an outlet pass up ahead now for Godbold. Her sister Charity Godbold also on the Wolverine roster. Chloe Godbold, just a freshman from Southfield, out of Farmington Hills Mercy High School. Gets it over to Kayla Knight, another freshman for this Wolverine team. Works it back to Godbold, now to Kendall Rose. Under 10 on the shot clock. The defense once again, and LTU in the full force here. And Walkowski lays out, was able to get a tip off a Wolverine player, and possession back to the Blue Devils. As they'll have a chance to extend this lead to double digits going back the other way on the offensive side. 3 players sub in on the Wolverine side. Here's Banis. Buckingham pops out off a screen, faces up, works off a screen from Hansen, now takes a triple. Was looking for another one, couldn't quite hit there, but another offensive rebound, and Buckingham might get another try here. Couldn't quite hit it. They're shooting them, and now a fight for the rebound goes to the Wolverines. Back out the other way. Here's Godbold. She'll slow it down and look for options. Godbold averaging 2.9 points per game, feeds it in low to Georgia Jones, who is stripped but a foul called. Again, a nice effort, though, from Walkowski. She has been all over the place early on here. Nice crowd on hand today here in Don Riddler Fieldhouse. Inbounding pass will come from Heinrich. They get it in, tried to work it in down low. Nothing doing there. Taryn Klein in the passing lane up ahead, and fouled from behind was Sherilyn Banis. Natalie Spallo will be charged there.
Foul by the Wolverines, number 23, Natalie Spalla, her first, team's fifth.
It's the first for Spalla.
Number 15, Sherilyn Banis.
And in the bonus here, the Blue Devils' first free throw up and good.
Back in for Lawrence Tech, number 44, Rachel Price.
You see Price check in. Her size has not quite in yet at the scores table, but when she gets in, we'll note that her size has been certainly effective on the floor all season long for these Blue Devils. She had quite an impact last time the Blue Devils were at home on the rebounding side of things. And we've seen more of that tonight as the Wolverines look to work it back out the other way. Dribbling off her foot, Chloe Godbold. That'll leave an opportunity in the fast break. Errant pass falls out to Buckingham, and she gives it over to Banis to reset here. 15-6 lead for the Blue Devils here on their home floor early on. Spinning in the post was Danielle Hansen, unable to hit with the right hand. Here comes Godbold over to Georgia Jones. Little pump fake. Got the defender in the air and knocked it down for 2. They'll need as much of that as they can find, the Wolverines, if they want to climb back into this one. Still just a 7-point game, but LTU certainly in control at this juncture. No good there. Rebound, though, from Hansen. She took a spill, got up looking for a foul. Didn't get it. 42 seconds to play here in the first. Another turnover and another fast break opportunity here. Taryn Klein. She'll break her dribble. Nice pass inside. A nice find to Walkowski, who scores it. And Walkowski, her 5th point of the game. About a half a second difference, shot clock and game clock. Wolverines will essentially get the final possession here, although a quick shot put up. Rebound bouncing off a couple of fingers, and unable to hit in the paint for the Wolverines, and it'll carry a 9-point LTU lead into the second quarter. A nice start from Blue Devils. We'll be right back here on the LTU Sports Network for more action in the second quarter.
As they're getting their rings for the West Championship. Also, ladies and gentlemen, a reminder that the concession stand is open. Stop on in.
Welcoming you back to the LTU Sports Network for the second quarter of action. LTU off to a 17-8 start. Blue Devils in search of what would be their 6th win in a row. That would be the longest under head coach Kylene Spiegel. They started the season 5-0 as a jumper off there from Sade Lemons, and rebound goes down to Buckingham. This would be a great program win to pick up that longest winning streak under Kylene Spiegel. Buckingham finds herself wide open there, short, but the rebound goes to Price. Over to Buckingham now, cross-court Klein. She can shoot it, and off there. Blue Devils taking their fair share of threes early on, finding themselves open quite a bit as Natalie Spala pushes back out the other way. The Wolverines into the corner, Heinrich. No good. Price able to box out. Rebound went to Hansen. Outlet Buckingham with Klein, 2-on-1. Left-handed finish. And a 19-8 lead. The largest of the day as it reaches double digits. Godbold almost tripped up, veering across the lane there. Here's Lemons, and she carried. LTU ball. We see Walkowski check out there. Sherilyn Banis comes in. Jada Futch, the sophomore out of Dearborn Heights, will check in for the Wolverines. Driving into the lane, Buckingham able to finish. Momentary halt in play there. Buckingham has 10 now. Heinrich goes back over to Spala. Mentioned the struggles of scoring for this Wolverines team this year, averaging just 55 a game. They are currently dead last in the WAC, and Sade Lemons able to hit there though to cut the lead down to 10. Here's Taryn Klein, driving contact and a blocking foul. This Wolverine team began the season 4-3 and then subsequently lost their next 10 games after the 4-3 start. We see a couple of substitutions here for the Blue Devils. Buckingham and Klein go to the bench. And Caitlin Smith and Walkowski check in. Walkowski immediately having an impact, cutting to the rim but unable to finish there through contact. Here comes Natalie Spala. She likes to push it. Heinrich finds herself open. Off the iron, and it goes out of bounds. Top of the bucket as head coach Kylene Spiegel barks out directions to her squad. Spiegel in her second season as head coach of the Blue Devils, a graduate of Tiffin University, Assistant coaches Megan Murphy and Kaylee Patton. We get a foul here.
Foul by the Wolverines, number 15.
Looks like it went to Emily Heinrich.
Her second, team second.
Second one on Heinrich, and now in the corner, Caitlin Smith getting her first touch of the night. Steps back, now looks inside. Back out it goes, Walkowski. Finds inside, Walkowski continues to slip to the bucket. She is doing an excellent job off the ball. And she is finding lanes and creases to cut to the hoop, and she'll find herself at the line here. We often see some of the best basketball players able to do some of their best work off the ball as opposed to with the ball, and Walkowski could certainly fall into that category. Off on the first free throw attempt.
The Wolverines, number 24,
Micah White checks in here for the Wolverines. 10-point Blue Devil lead with 7:23 to play here in the second quarter. Walkowski goes 1 for 2. And out comes number 2 in blue, Jada Futch. They work it in low to Georgia Jones, and that's her forte. A little hook shot, using the body and the height to get into the paint. Back out come the Blue Devils the other way. Walkowski, well, she liked it. She liked the look there, took it. Couldn't quite hit, though. And a 9-point lead, though, for the Blue Devils still. Worked out top. Triple try is good. That came from Megan Swick, averaging 7 points a game, but she's a 37% three-point shooter. And that'll pull this Lawrence Tech lead down to 6 at 22-16 now. Driving was Walkowski, and a foul there.
Foul by the Wolverines, number 21, Georgia Jones. Back in the game for the Blue Devils, number 3, Taryn Klein, also number 34, Nicole Buckingham.
Klein and Buckingham check back into the game here as the lead goes back down to 6. Blue Devils have led by as much as 11 tonight as Walkowski works with it off the screen. Back out for Bannis. Over to Klein. She'll drive baseline. Nice little step through move. Able to get to the lane, but a unlucky finish, and now a tie up here. And that'll give possession to LTU.
Jump ball. LTU basketball.
Klein has played efficient minutes all year long. The freshman. A lot of potential. Ability to handle, pass, shoot. Had a nice drive on that last play. Unable to finish, but showing the effort. As Walkowski now works with it. Finds Buckingham, the Blue Devils' leading scorer. One of 4 1,000-point scores in Blue Devil history, and she gets to the lane there and finishes with a chance for one more.
Count the basket. Foul by the Wolverines, number 10, Megan Swick.
Couple of 1,000-point scorers on the floor right now for the Blue Devils, with Walkowski and Buckingham. Obviously, Walkowski joined that group not too long ago. First free throw is up, and that'll count it for a 3-point play. Gets the lead back up to 9. Big moment there, and errant pass, miscommunication would be the word to use for the Wolverines. Giving possession back to LTU in one of the more peculiar sequences you will see from a team, just throwing it away there in the backcourt. Buckingham, little stop and start, pirouette, unable to finish in the paint. Here comes Godbold. Back over to Megan Swick. She's already knocked down a 3 today. Georgia Jones working on the smaller Walkowski. Found an advantage, couldn't quite hit, but nice hustle there from Micah White, beating out Taryn Klein for the rebound. Back over to Swick. She looks. And working in low, Georgia Jones. That's where the majority of this offense has come so far for Michigan Dearborn. Jones now has 7 on 3 of 4 shooting. As Buckingham finds an option down low, that is Hanson. Little spin move. She might have been called for a travel. She was. As we reach the 5:01 mark here.
Back in for your Blue Devils, number 15, Sherilyn Banish.
And Banish checks back in. Head coach Kylie Spiegel not too happy with Hanson. Jada Futch will dribble it back out and set it back up for the Wolverines here. Over to Michael White, the junior guard. Feeds it in low to Georgia Jones. They might just keep going to her. Spalla, Buckingham had a hand on it. Spalla was able to hold possession. Under 10 on the clock. And a foul called. Bit of a bailout there. This foul will go to Klein. Here's a 3 put up and knocking it down, Megan Swick. She's already hit a couple of tough ones from a couple feet behind that top of the circle mark, and that'll cut the lead to 4. Wolverines finding a bit of momentum. A little burst of energy here. Buckingham trying to halt this run, couldn't do it. Rebound pulled down by White. Here comes Futch. LTU in need of a stop. Bit of a momentum swing. Right now, Georgia Jones working inside. Over to White. Another 3 attempt. Will this one go? No, well short. And off to the side of the rim from White. And the LTU fans let White know about that miss. What has worked for this Blue Devil team so far has been these off-the-ball cuts, open threes at times, but the ball movement has really worked so far as Klein drives into the body of Jones. Couldn't get a foul call. There was contact. And another miss there. Second quarter has been a bit of a struggle in comparison to the first for the Blue Devils, and hoping that doesn't leak to the defensive side of the basketball. Here's Spalla working out up top. Feeds it into Jones, who lowers her shoulder and puts it up and was fouled. We could have a chance for a 1-point game here now with 3:02 to play. What a different direction this game has taken over the last few minutes. As Sade Lemons checks back in for the Wolverines. Another offensive reinforcement. And the 85% free throw shooter, Georgia Jones, knocks that down. So just a 1-point game now. Works it over to Walkowski. We mentioned the Blue Devils' struggles in the first half of the last matchup against the Wolverines. Despite the record 1-13 in the WAC for Michigan Dearborn, they play some stingy defense, holding opponents under 40% shooting and just about 65 points per game. A miss there from LTU, and the Wolverines have a chance to take the lead. Here's Futch, working on Banis. Picks up the dribble, now over to White. And a steal there from Walkowski. Mentioned earlier what worked for the LTU team, it was turnovers, forcing turnovers. They're unable to connect on the pass there that saw Walkowski leaking to the rim, but if they can force more turnovers like that, that'll certainly help them get back into the flow that they showed in the first quarter. As Kayla Knight checks in here and Georgia Jones heads to the bench for a breather. Walkowski calls out the signal. Works off a screen. Didn't go for the look there. Worked it in the corner. Now back out it goes Banis. High hop off the iron, no good. And the rebound pulled down by Lemons. Sade Lemons trying to get a hold of that pass. She'll get a screen here. Now work back the other way. White calling for it. Didn't get it. Instead it goes to Knight. Under 10 on the shot clock. Nice defense here, but Price got caught on the screen, although they were able to get a miss from Kayla Knight. And now racing out the other way, here comes Walkowski, barreling her way into the lane and finishes for 2. And a timeout called there from Jordan Sweeney. Hopefully Walkowski's bucket will give a little bit of a resurgence for this LTU team. They're up 3, but the Wolverines have fought back. We'll be right back here on the LTU Sports Network. It's a 3-point Blue Devil lead. And we return here on the LTU Sports Network, a 3-point LTU lead with what will be a big 1 minute and 18 seconds to go here in the half. Don't want to end the half on a sour note, either of these squads. As Jada Futch crosses half court, some tight defense being played there by Cheryl and Bandis. You would think at this point that the Wolverines are just looking to finish this season out on a high note, hopefully build some momentum going into next year. But they have come out with a competitive mentality tonight as Jada Futch drives to the rim, and she might have been called for steps. She was, with 53 seconds left in the half. LTU led by 11 earlier in this one. As they work it down the court for Buckingham. They could use a big bucket from her right now, and she'll try to get that bucket. Gliding to the lane, but unable to finish there. And the ball pinballing around there. It'll go to the way of the Wolverines. A foul called with 40.1 to go here in the half. Nice crowd on hand in support of the Blue Devils. Filled up really on this home side. Buckingham gets in the passing lane, out in front of White. Couldn't quite finish though, an inexplicable miss at the rim. But the ball goes to Bandis. Was she able to save it? Couldn't quite get there in time. That's a miss that you won't see too often from Nicole Buckingham. And we saw a similar situation in the first half where you have about just a half a second difference between shot clock and game clock here in favor of the Wolverines on this final possession. They work it in down low. Nice little spin move. Got Sade Jones open. She was able to hit it. A 1-point game. Walkowski couldn't get that off. And the bucket from Sade Lemons will send this into the half. A 1-point game here on the LTU Sports Network. We'll get a break, and we'll be right back for the second half of action. And we're back here on the LTU Sports Network, getting set for the second half of action. Just a 1-point Blue Devil lead over the visiting Wolverines. At one point, LTU led by 11, but these Wolverines have climbed back, and they'll get the first possession here. One of the bright spots for this Wolverines season that for the most part has been a struggle is the fact that they hold opponents to about 38.7% shooting and force 19 turnovers per game. And that's been a factor tonight, as it was in the first matchup between these two squads. Early on here, working in low to Georgia Jones. She couldn't quite get it to go, and back out the other way comes Banis. She'll slow it down a bit. Buckingham looks in low to Price. Little spin move, but moved right into the arm of Meredith Williams, and Williams called for a foul. She'll walk away with an incredulous look on her face. It's been a couple of times where she has been frustrated with the calls tonight, and they will call a shooting foul here. Rachel Price at the line here. Knocks down the first. Buckingham leading the way early with 15 points for the Blue Devils as Price hits both. And on the other side, Jones leading the way with 12 for the Wolverines as they manage to get up the ball up the court here. Meredith Williams dribbles back out of the trap, now swings it on over to Williams. In the post for Jones, working into the body of Price, and she's fouled.
Foul, Blue Devils number 44, Rachel Price, her second, team's first at the line, shooting 2 for the Wolverines, number 21, Georgia Jones.
Georgia Jones out of Renaissance High School. Very active player and gets the first to go there, getting it right back down to 2. In that first matchup, it was tight through the third quarter. Blue Devils pulled away in the fourth. We'll see what happens here. Interesting storyline, how it has been almost been a replica of that first matchup. Wolverines shooting 42% right now. Lawrence Tech at 31%. In low for Hansen, little spin move, and was able to create space with the shoulder. Get it back up to a 2-possession lead. Once again, Lemons trying to work in down low, and Buckingham was expecting it. But a kickball called there. LTU has won the last 9 games versus the Wolverines, dating back to 2013, but Michigan Dearborn trying to change that. Once again, just a 1-point game. Buckingham out to the top of the circle. Now over to Walkowski. She'll look and now call out a play. Driving down the right side of the lane. Lost the handle on her hip. Has to pick it up with under 10 on the shot clock. Price hits a triple. Rachel Price, she can really split the floor. She's 26% on the year from downtown. Able to knock it down there. A 35% shooter overall. But she really spreads the floor. The numbers don't really indicate the impact that she has on the floor for this Blue Devil team. We saw it there. Meredith Williams trying to answer back. That was a 2-pointer. No good. Williams has struggled to shoot the ball this year. Racing back out to the way come the Blue Devils. And a pass off the fingertips of Hansen, but a foul called. It was a push in the back. That went to Kayla Knight, the freshman. And Banis will get to inbound here. Gets it into Hansen. Corner Price. Might have had a look there. Buckingham, pump fake, drive into the lane. Bit too strong. And another foul will this time give possession to the Wolverines. A 4-point game. We could be in for a fun one tonight, depending on how well this Wolverine team continues to defend, and really if the Wolverines can continue to force turnovers. And on the LTU side, if you want to pull away, you have to find a way to get back into the motion you were in earlier. and forced turnovers just like that. An offensive foul called. Laying her body out that time was Price, and Price will go to the bench and get a couple of high fives from her teammates in admiration, as Taryn Klein, the sharpshooter off the bench, will check back in. Klein 0 for 4 on the day. Ball works in here to Hansen. She'll face up, looking for room. Spin move. Decided to pick up the dribble and kick it out to Banis. Too short off the front of the rim. Williams can really push it, but lost it there. The hustle of Walkowski disrupting the play. But up ahead, Natalie Spala finds herself open, didn't realize how open she was, and she might have been a little too open there. Shot was way off, but an offensive rebound goes back out to Williams, and she cashes in. Meredith Williams' first bucket of the night. And now a steal, just a 1-point game. And Buckingham went falling into Williams and called for a foul. Has a word for the ref as she got up there. 6:48 to play here in the third quarter. Knight to inbound. Gets it into Williams, who all of a sudden has had an impact on this one after an 0 for 2 start. They tried working it into Lemons. A nice defensive play from Buckingham down low. Over to Spala, now back to Knight. Now over to Williams. Georgia Jones, a cutting Williams. Threw it away, and Banis is there. Michigan Dearborn averaging 19 turnovers per game this year. That's been one of their Achilles heels. There's a turnover there on the LTU side. They can also force turnovers, and that's really been the equalizer tonight. Turnovers from both sides, neither side able to really pull away. At one point, LTU, right on cue there, another turnover. At one point, LTU had an 11-point lead, but it took a dramatic shift really midway through the second quarter. Missed three-pointer there from Taryn Klein, goes after her own rebound and fouled. Nice play from Taryn Klein. Coaches always teach you to go after that rebound on the off your own shot, and found herself in a advantageous position there. A few substitutions will hit the floor on the Wolverine side. Banis calls out the play. Walkowski works off a screen. Walkowski has been fairly quiet so far in this third quarter. And a travel call there. Hansen lost track of the steps. Michigan turnovers and 7 on the LTU side. Feels like LTU has more. But that's been the story of the game thus far. As the ball goes in the corner for Heinrich. Heinrich hit a couple of tough shots in that first half, along with Swick, who's now in the game. Kayla Knight has to take this one. Not much of a shooter, and an awkward release there. Comes up well short. Three turnovers in the last 3 minutes for the Blue Devils, and it's been a scoring drought for about the last 3 minutes and 20 seconds for the Blue Devils. 0 for 5 in their last 5 field goal attempts, and make it 0 for 6 on a very tough miss there. Back the other way come the Wolverines. Open to Swick. She can knock that down, and she did. Swick has really hurt the Wolverines, and they take the lead. Yeah, at 36-34, we're going to break here on the LTU Sports Network. Welcoming you back here on the LTU Sports Network. I'm Jason Ross Jr. providing you the play-by-play and the action of a tight one here inside of Don Riddler Fieldhouse on a frosty night in Southfield, Michigan. We've got a fun one. LTU really struggling at the moment. Head coach Kylie Spiegel is in the face of her team in that last time out. A missed three there, but an offensive rebound goes back out to Caitlin Smith. Now up top to Bannis, and she'll call out the play. Defended by Kendall Rose. Takes a screen. Buckingham. You'll need more from her, and there it is. Nicole Buckingham able to tie it up. Her 17th point of the ball game. Buckingham 7 of 17 thus far tonight. Here's Swick. She's been really feeling it. Megan Swick has been quite incredible tonight. 12 points on 4 of 4 from deep. She hasn't missed. She's been a flamethrower tonight. And LTU down by 3. A cut from Walkowski on the baseline, but another turnover as they tried to force it through. Blue Devils trying to extend their win streak to 6. It would be the longest of the year. But they're in trouble in a tight one here, able to force a turnover, and Caitlin Smith will dribble it back out the other way. Buckingham, little pull-up jumper, no good. And now out the other way comes Chloe Godbold. Over to Kendall Rose. To a cutting Swick, looking to feed the hot hands. And she finally misses. Megan Swick now 4 of 5 on the day. Foul called at the other end on Michigan Dearborn. Will give free throws here to Sherilyn Bannis. And she knocks the first one down. To cut the lead to 2 with under 3 to play here in the third. Knocks it down, just a 1-point game. Here comes Spala. Over to Godbold, hasn't scored or taken a shot yet today, and she forces the and she turns it over there. It's Buckingham galloping back out the other way, looking for options, finds Bannis. Caitlin Smith will hold up. 2.5 to go. Drive, no good, too strong. Walkowski there to clean it up and finds herself wide open for a 10th point of the game, and the turnover will give it right back to the Blue Devils. An inexplicable turnover will send Kendall Rose to the bench, and Micah White checks in along with Sade Lemons. Here's Buckingham, wide open on the baseline, left-handed layup up and in. And the lead goes back up to 3, switching over to the Blue Devils. A scoring drought over the last 2:22 for the Wolverines, and they turn it over once more. Starting to feel a bit of a shift in the momentum now in favor of the Blue Devils. And it's just what they needed, looking to close this quarter on a good run, and able to fill it up. Sherilyn Bannis. Timeout called by Jordan Sweeney. And we're going to break here on the LTU Sports Network. Head coach Kylie Spiegel said something to her team, and it has sparked a burst of energy. LTU Sports Network with 1:39 to play here in the third. LTU on a bit of a run over the last couple of minutes. They have shifted the momentum back in their favor with a good defense and scoring in low. LTU at 18-4 on the year in search of that 19th win, which would be their 6th in a row. It would be the 11th conference win. Currently second behind Indiana Tech. Still very realistic that the Blue Devils can make it their way to the top of the conference, and yet another turnover for the Wolverines as Michigan Dearborn continues to self-destruct. Michigan Dearborn at 6-17 on the year, just 1-13 in the conference, dead last. They're 4-6 on the road. Here's a pass in down low to Klein, who slips to the rim and gets a favorable roll to extend the lead up to 7. Final 60 seconds of the quarter. And it's a big 60 seconds for the Wolverines if they want to make any kind of a push here. They almost turned it over again, trying to force it down to Jones. You think, though, they almost have to. Swick has been particularly hot in this game, but Georgia Jones is probably their most reliable option. Jones has 13 in this game on 5 of 7 shooting. She hits the deck there. Klein looking to tie it up, and she got it. Possession will go to LTU. The scoring drought now approaching over 4 minutes for the Wolverines. As Smith works back out the other way in search of Buckingham. Didn't get it there, so they skipped it around the perimeter. Ball does find its way back out to Buckingham. Little spin move in the lane. What a gorgeous move there from Buckingham. They tried to get it to her down low. That didn't quite work. So she just popped out to the free throw line and then worked her way inside with a little whirling move into the paint and was able to finish. That's now 19 for Buckingham. Swick couldn't quite finish. 10 seconds on the clock. Banis looking to push. You could extend the lead to double digits here. And they do! With the big triple. 51-39 LTU lead. They end the quarter on a big run. And we're going to break here on the LTU Sports Network. Back here for the fourth quarter of action on the LTU Sports Network. A big run to end the quarter has the Blue Devils with their largest lead of the game. Working in low, Georgia Jones out to Sade Lemons, knocks it down. And this is, once again, we continue the theme of how much of just a replica this game is in comparison to the first matchup between these two teams. It was tight through 3 quarters, and then the Blue Devils pulled away in that first matchup, just like they are seeming to do here. Foul called there. Wolverines will walk it up the court with Fudge. Michael White Megan Swick and Georgia Jones, along with Lemons on the floor right now for the Wolverines. Driving into the lane was Futch, and she traveled on the way there. On the floor, starting the fourth quarter for Lawrence Tech, you have Walkowski, Smith, Buckingham dribbling up is Bandis, and Klein, the sharpshooter, out on the floor as well. Walkowski, she has 10, working her way in low. Back out to Buckingham. 9 on the shot clock. Baseline drive, a little acrobatic adjust in midair from Klein, but couldn't quite get any rim on the shot. Wolverines looking to make a push to get back in this one. Megan Swick has been the option to do that offensively, but she traveled there, and if she isn't producing, then you just don't know if it's enough for these Wolverines to come back within these final 8 minutes. Georgia Jones also has been effective for the Wolverines. Buckingham working on Lemons. Nice job from Lemons to push her back out. Klein, foul from deep, and she had it anyway. A chance for 4. What potential Taryn Klein has, and it's been on display tonight. Just lethal from deep, and she'll have a chance to stretch this lead to 14 as Rachel Price checks back in. Free throw rimmed out. .30-second timeout here. We'll be right back here on the LTU Sports Network. It is a 54-41 Blue Devil lead. Welcoming you back here into the fourth and final quarter of action on the LTU Sports Network. It was a tight back and forth affair through the first 3.5 quarters. Blue Devils ended the third on a run. They currently lead by 13. Working it around the perimeter of the Wolverines, a triple try here. No good. That triple line is really what kept the Wolverines in this one. They had the lead at one point, and there's one there to cut it down to 10. That time coming from Sade Lemons, a 40% three-point shooter on the year. Lemons back out the way for Klein. She can really stroke it from deep. She's done that so far. A little pump fake and drive. Taryn Klein continues her run, and now she's in double figures with 10 on 2 of 4 from deep and 4 of 10 overall shooting. Getting the lead back up to 12. In the corner, Swick. She hits to answer right back from deep. Megan Swick, her 5th three-pointer of the day. She has 15. Banish tries to answer, and she knocks it down. The three-point party continues here in Don Riddler Fieldhouse. Megan Swick, I think she thought about taking another one there, but immediately trapped. Ball finds its way back over to the other side for Lemons. Foul goes off the ball. That went to Price. 3 substitutes coming in here for the Wolverines. Meredith Williams, Kayla Knight, and Natalie Spalla all get back out onto the floor. Walkowski will check back in here for Klein, who deserves an ovation as she hits the bench. Nice defensive play from Buckingham. She tipped the inbounding pass, and it went off the foot of Knight. that'll give possession back to Lawrence Tech. Little full court pressure here action from Michigan Dearborn. Lofting a pass over the top, and the full court pressure was quite successful. Here comes Meredith Williams. Not much of a shooter, but she'll kick it back out to Georgia Jones, who looks to work inside. Now back to Williams, and she couldn't quite get the roll. And a foul will be charged to Walkowski here.
Foul by the Blue Devils, number 12, Walkowski, her third, team's third back in the game for the Blue Devils.
Klein comes right back in. Smith goes out. Smith 0 for 2 on the day. 13 minutes of action. In the far corner, working in low, looking for a pass, was Jones. Now it's out to Sade Lemons. Back inside, Jones up and in. Georgia Jones continues a nice day. Back out the other way, Walkowski couldn't quite hit it. Natalie Spottle thought about it, not enough room. Here's Lemons driving down the right side of the lane, and it was called off. A foul before she got down into the paint. And Swick will come in now.
Back in the game for the Wolverines, number 10, Megan Swick.
Pace of play starting to slow down just a bit. Wolverines looking to get into their set. Meredith Williams, the floor general, swings it over to Lemons. Nice double team action in the post there. Swick will try from way out. Couldn't quite hit. Hustling for the offensive rebound. Not there in time, out of bounds. And Swick, that is the first missed three-pointer of the day for her. 5 of 6 now. She can certainly be proud of that at the end of this one. Although her team trails by 10. The Blue Devils trying to extend that 10-point lead and make it even more comfortable with 5:26 to play here. Klein once more! Taryn Klein, her third three-pointer now. Give her 13 points. In low, Georgia Jones, no good. Here comes Walkowski, galloping back out the other way. Finds a lane and scores. That'll make it 64-49, a comfortable lead with under 5 to play here at Don Riddler Fieldhouse. Blue Devils in search of their 6th win in a row. Lemons tries to answer back and does. Timeout called by Jordan Sweeney.
Thirty-second timeout, Dearborn.
Here in Don Riddler Fieldhouse on the season, Lawrence Tech is shooting 30% from that three-point range. They've shot it at a nice clip today of 38%. And on the Michigan side, 52% from deep, thanks in part mostly to Megan Swick, who is 5 of 6 from deep today. She's tied for 15 points to lead the Wolverines in scoring along with Georgia Jones. And on the Blue Devils side, Walkowski has 12, Klein with 13 on 3 of 5 from deep, and Buckingham has 21 on 9 of 20 shooting. They get it in here facing the full court pressure that they had trouble with last time, but here comes Walkowski, once again navigating her way through the lane, now back out to Buckingham, and she knocks it down! Buckingham! 9th three of the day for Lawrence Tech. And it's a 15-point lead with 4:18 to go. Here is Spalla. Jones, spin move, double teamed. Williams open, that's a 2, but it's long. Rebound, Swick up and in. 4:02 to play. Here's Walkowski looking to slow it down. Spalla was bearing down on her, had to keep her eyes peeled. Goes back out to Banis to set it up, and she'll call out the play. Gets a screen, now picks up her dribble. Swick was there on the defense. Klein has been hot in the second half. 8 on the shot clock. Drove into contact, a blocking foul, and that'll lead to 2 free throws. Klein, a 76% free throw shooter. As a team, the Blue Devils are shooting 77% from the stripe on the year. Klein is now 1 for 2 on the day from the free throw line. Last time she was there, it was a chance for a 4-point play. Couldn't quite convert. But this time she goes 2 for 2 and gets the lead up to 15. Wolverines, this lead is almost becoming insurmountable now. Barring a collapse, it'll be an extremely tough climb back with 3:20 to play now as an air ball was put up from Meredith Williams. Williams has struggled shooting the ball this year. Just 31% from field goal range. Here's Walkowski. It tried to go and load a Price. Price was held. LTU not in the bonus yet. Smith checks back in here. Buckingham will go out. It'll be interesting to see if that is the final time we'll see Buckingham tonight. Nice cut there from Walkowski. She was tied up in midair, but possession will stay with LTU. Here's Price, 6'1" sophomore, gets it over to Klein. Now over to Banis, the junior from Oxford, Michigan. Really able to control the ball, gets it in. About a 15-footer on the baseline is good from Haley Walkowski. And she has 14 on 6 of 10 shooting. An efficient performance from Walkowski tonight. Lemons, a nice little crossover into the paint and able to finish through contact.
Count the basket, foul by the Blue Devils, number 2, Caitlin Smith, her second, team's 5th at the line.
Foul was called on Smith. We see Price check out and Hansen come back in.
Number 32, Danielle Hansen.
Free throw off the mark. Banis able to break through the full court pressure. Klein thought about it. Wanted another 3. They throw it away here, though. 3 in the corner from Swick. No good. Second in a row, she's airballed after a 5 of 5 start. Now Lawrence Tech can really bleed clock. Looking to just end this one out in a clean fashion. As we see Emily Landgloff head over to the scorer's table. Off the foot of Lemons, and that'll keep the basketball in possession of Lawrence Tech. Walkowski checks out, most likely for the final time tonight. If it is the final time, she'll finish with 12 points. Natalie Spallo heads to the bench for the Wolverines. Banis working with 8 on the clock. Back out Landgolf. Her first attempt of the game is good! And the bench is loving this now, and so are the fans. It's an 18-point lead. We get a call here. A couple of more substitutions will get in the game, including Alex Ruster. We see Olivia Hauser check in for the Wolverines. Reinforcements really flowing in now with this game decided. Hope Dollaride checks in along with Julia James, the freshman. Dollaride, a sophomore from Dorr, Michigan. One more, Caitlin Smith will check back in. Hauser inbounds. And the final 90 seconds now. Ball goes over to James. She looks to work in down low. And turnovers have come in abundance tonight for the Wolverines, really hurting them. They had the lead at one point early on, and looks like they were going to carry some momentum, but it was turnovers along with improved shooting at the end of the third from Lawrence Tech that really helped the Blue Devils pull away in this one. And will certainly give them a boost of confidence knowing that they can still fight through adversity like this. They have now through the last two games, as Landgolf was once again looking for a triple try. At the other end, the Wolverines, here's Hauser in the game for the first time, the senior guard from Redford, Michigan. We might have another turnover here from the Wolverines. They're still fighting for it, no quit in this Michigan Dearborn team that will fall to 1-14 in conference play after this one, with 27.4 on the clock. 15 seconds left on the shot clock here as the men's team start to get their warm-ups in behind the benches. That'll be the second of our doubleheader tonight. Tip-off scheduled for 8 p.m. right back here on the LTU Sports Network. Your LTU men looking to get back in the win column as Hauser is off there. Another foul, though. We'll head back the other way. This will be the 6th win in a row for Lawrence Tech, the longest streak under head coach Kylene Spiegel. Definitely something to be proud of as Landgolf can just dribble this one out. It'll be the 19th victory of the season to improve to 11-3 in the conference and 9-3 at home. Landgolf walks over to her bench, and the Blue Devils will come away from Don Riddler Fieldhouse with a victory. Returning home with a successful performance, an 18-point win. And we'll be right back here on the LTU Sports Network in 30 minutes for the men's game versus the University of Michigan Dearborn. Special thanks to our LTU Sports Network crew. Taj and Anthony did a great job tonight. I'm Jason Ross Jr. saying so long. We'll be right back, though, in about 30 minutes for our second of two tonight here on the LTU Sports Network. Do I need the other headset? Or are you good?
Yep.
Hi, Coach. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Okay, so, Coach, what do you think worked best for you in that towards the end of the third quarter and fourth quarter when things really started to change?
I just decided that we're going to play 5 guards, which seems a little scary, right? Especially against one of the freshmen, Jones from Dearborn. Last year she was on the all-freshman team, but I decided, hey, we're going to go for 5 guards, and we're going to get downhill and try to get them to draw some fouls and play some pressure defense.
Turn
and
volume up a little bit.
So,
Coach, over the last 2 games, you've really been able to push through adversity. You know, came back late in that game against Rochester and now this one. What do you think gives the team ability to push through adversity and now continue this winning streak to 6?
One, I think they're about ready to give me a heart attack. Starting games like that, but it always starts defensively for us, and I think when we pick up our defense, then our offense really starts to come. So I really credit my kids on the defensive end of the floor.
And Coach, what are the goals for the rest of this season?
The rest of the season, first and foremost, we have Siena Heights on Saturday, and it's never an easy place to play at, and they're always a team in our conference that one of those teams you don't want to play. So we're really looking forward to that game, and it's scary because we only have 6 games left on our schedule that we're promised. So I just keep telling our kids we're out here to fight and take it one game at a time, and the rest will fall into place for us.
And Coach, this is the 6th win in a row. That's the longest in your tenure with Lawrence Tech. What does that mean to you?
It just means that our kids are really paying attention to detail and not letting the wins get ahead of them. We always stress on scouting reports and focusing on the next game ahead, and that we can't get overexcited or overwhelmed. We just got to stay consistent, and that's the biggest thing I think that we struggled with on and off throughout the year. So if we're consistent, then we're going to be a good team.
Thank you, Coach, and great win tonight. Congratulations.
Thank you. Appreciate it.